Hi everybody, this is Kevin, a CPA that does financial planning, and today I wanted to talk about my low-carb journey the last year. And I just had my year anniversary. Give you some feedback on my personal numbers, biomarkers of disease, because that's really the most important thing to me. And also talk about a new study that just came out that says, and I'm just paraphrasing, absolutely doesn't say this exactly, but to me, it says that what I'm doing is actually healthy. After many years of fat phobia and people thinking we got to get the fat out of the diet, a study came out in the Lancet, which is pretty good as far as the type of eating that I'm doing. And there's other people in my life that have given me feedback that have lost a lot of weight and they feel better. They have less inflammation, and so it's not just my journey; it's the journey of many others. And so, if you're not ready to do this type of eating, I get it. It's like learning there's no Santa Claus or other types of things that is just a killjoy. But what I will tell you is my own health was the reason why I did this, and now I'm somewhat addicted to eating this new way. Because the health benefits have just been so tremendous. How I feel every day has been tremendous. So why might you do this? Well, if you're not feeling as healthy as you used to, if you're having blood sugar crashes during the day, if you're getting tired in the afternoon, these are all reasons that I think that eating a nutritional ketosis or ketogenic diet is the way to go. But I'll just tell you really quickly about me. I was somebody who had no willpower, eating ice cream every night, somewhat of a sugar addiction, definitely eating a lot of carbs, developed, it's not really a disease, but pre-diabetes. 4 out of 5 biomarkers were going in the wrong direction, and I've eaten ketogenic, low carb, higher fat diet, healthy fat diet, and over the last year, all my biomarkers have now are in the normal range. I just had my year anniversary visit. All my biomarkers, LDL is even 102, and when I started it was about 132. So the HDL has gone up 20.5. So all this idea that eating fat is really bad for you if you eat the right types of fat actually has been debunked just by me personally. Now that doesn't mean it will be the same for you. Some people eating low-fat protein and vegetables, eating vegan diet may work great for them. So I'm not advocating this is for everybody. But people that have insulin resistance, metabolic syndrome, type 2 diabetes, I absolutely think, I'm convinced that this is the best way to go. So Tim Tebow has become a spokesperson, not officially, but for nutritional ketosis, and article in GQ. Now, by the way I dress that I don't read GQ. I just came across this article on Twitter. But he eats 4 avocados a day. He drinks bulletproof coffee, which is coffee with heavy cream, butter, and coconut oil. So, and he talks about the benefits that he's realized in his life. So it's good to have stories. Data itself is not very motivational for us. But I've had now probably a dozen people talk to me about eating this way, and I've said, although sometimes, when I make these videos or write stuff, I don't know if anyone ever looks at it, but they've said that they were motivated to give this a try, and they thanked me. A few other people tried it and quit. So to be fair, it's one of those things that's not for everybody. But the most important thing I can tell you is that it gets easier and easier after you do it for a while. So the first 3 weeks is very difficult. The thing I wish I knew is that you needed to add some extra salt. Again, afraid of salt, afraid of fat. And when you stop eating all these carbs, your fluid, and I'm not a physician or a nutritionist, ask your people you trust, but when you go low carb, you basically start living on a different planet, because your fluid, you lose a few pounds of fluid, and you lose some of the minerals because your fluid is lessened. So you excrete salt, you excrete magnesium, and some potassium. So those Those avocados have a lot of potassium, and salt is just something that I've found for myself that I've had to add, and that's made a big difference with that, quote unquote, keto flu or Atkins flu. So the final thing I would say is when the word Atkins, word association, when you hear Atkins, you probably have a negative opinion. And, the ketogenic diet is very similar to Atkins, except that I think it's more defined now. There's more research on it. But Atkins had such a negative, word association that people don't call the diet the Atkins diet, although they're extremely similar. But the PURE study has come out, which is an epidemiological study in Lancet, which is the New England Journal of Britain. And just really quick, I'll leave an article down there that you can click on to read about it. But what they found is over 5 continents, 10-year study, it was, I think, a 7.9% median that people were in the study, is they found out what people ate, they asked them what they ate, and then the people that ate the highest amount of carbs, carbohydrate, in their diet had the highest amount of death, mortality. Now, it is an epidemiological study. All food studies are not perfect studies, because how do you make sure people are eating what they say they're eating? People don't know how much salt or fat or carbohydrate they eat, but they did food diaries and they said they were very good. So you can take this with a grain of salt, no pun intended. But the people that ate the most carbs had the highest mortality. The people that ate the most fat had the lowest mortality. So we're not saying that you should only drink gallons and gallons of fat. Who would do it? But what we're saying is that maybe fat is not the demon that everybody thought it was. And the big issue I've seen in my life is anytime you eat something that's low fat, they increase the sugar in it, because everything tastes terrible if it doesn't have fat in it. Not everything, but many of the things that are supposed to be have fat in them, when you lower the fat, like yogurt, for example, try to find a low fat, low sugar yogurt. And I'm not just talking about the lactose, but yogurt is now, it's not a healthy food when you have tons of sugar in it. Low fat sour cream, low fat cheese, is they're always adding sugars and starches to it, and they're making it palatable by adding this stuff. So having this fear of fat is really caused all of us to say, well, you can't eat fat, so I'm going to have to eat these other things. But the PURE study also found that by eating, those people in the highest quintile that ate the most saturated fat actually had a reduced risk of stroke. So all the people in the ketogenic community all talk about brain health and how ketones, producing ketones, which you do when you lower your sugar in your blood life. And the ketogenic diet is about lowering carbs down tremendously, eating real food, not processed food, because all the processed food, even though it might be cereal, look at the cereal boxes. Look how much sugar cereal has in it. We think they're healthy grains. Wheat bread turns to sugar. Almost all the processed foods turn to sugar in our body. So all I'm advocating is to question some of the food science. Question some of the things that we've learned. If eating healthy, low fat really worked for us, why do we have such an obesity crisis in America? Why is Medicare spiraling out of control? Why are people getting sick early? And as a pediatric endocrinologist always says, why are there 3-year-olds that are massively obese if it's just about eating less and moving more? There's more to this whole issue around why we get fat than just calories in, calories out. And again, lots of resources are out there. Lustig, the author Lustig, and has some great YouTube videos. Gary Taubes, Nina Teicholz. There's tons of books. There's tons of people now promoting, the diet. You can find the diet on the internet. It's not difficult. The whole issue, the most important thing, and I've said this all along, is understanding why it works and the science, and that it's not a miracle. It's not going to happen overnight. But again, if you have, or someone that you love has prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, this is absolutely something that should be tried. It's a lot less invasive than medicine or surgery or other ways to try to lose weight. So thanks so much for watching. Kevin, a CPA that does financial planning. And again, thanks for watching.